Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn about for loop in C++ programming. So why we use for loop in C++ programming or any programming language? Actually, when you know in advance to print anything for fixed number of times. For example, you want to print your name for 100 times, so you know in advance that you will be printing your name for 100 times. So anything that you know in advance for printing it and printing it repeatedly. So for the repetition of the task we use the for loop, and also when you know in advance that how many times you will be printing particular thing, for example name or number etc, then you will use the for loop. So let us start the for loop. First of all, we should write hash include iostream using namespace std integer main, right, return 0. Okay, so for the for loop, the basic syntax is that you will write for, and these are the curly braces that actually is called the body of the for loop, and this is called the for loop declaration. So inside the for loop declaration, what you will actually define here, for example we want to actually print the name for 100 times, then we should write the initialization, that from where the loop should start. We actually declare a variable named as integer, and we name it as integer I is equals to 1. Okay, so this is actually is the initialization of the variable. Then the next thing is we want to apply a condition that I should be less than or equals to 100. Loop should execute up to 100 times, and then after every iteration the loop should be incremented. So inside the body of the for loop we are going to print cout my name is Mohammed Suleiman. Then we apply endl so that it should be printed on the next line. So what we do here, we beside this we want to print the number as well. So what we do here, cout I and okay, now we save this file in documents, and we create a folder C++ work, and we give name of the file for loop. Okay, now we compile this. I want to see that with the it is running fine. Okay, 0 errors and 0 warnings. Execute this. Now you can see that the name is printed for 100 times. Okay, so what happens, you can see that we have actually written for, and then there is a initialization of the variable I is equals to 1 and then I is less than or equals to 100. We know in advance that the loop will execute for 100 times and then I plus plus. So after every iteration, when it returns to from body to the loop header, then it actually is going to increment. So what is the procedure and how it actually executes? First of all, the variable is initialized. Then what it does, it checks for the condition. So I is equals to 1 and I is less than or equals to 100, 1 is less than or equals to 100, condition is true. So it comes to the body section of the loop and it prints the name. After printing the name, it actually returns to the increment section, which is actually I plus plus. Previously it was 1, now the 1 is incremented with the 1, so it becomes 2. So after this, it actually checks the condition 2 is less than or equals to 100 or not. Condition is true and it comes to the body section. So means the initialization section is executed once. Okay, and after printing the name for second time, and again it actually returns to the incremental section and it increments the loop by 1, so it comes becomes 3. So 3 is less than or equals to 100, condition is true, again it prints the name. When the I is equals to 101, then what happens, it checks the condition after 100 times. 101 is less than or equals to 100, condition is false, so loop does not actually enter into the body section. So in this way it is printing the name for 100 times.